Did you miss the OG cast of The Walking Dead? Many of them went from no-names to huge stars. Watch this video to learn what Andrew Lincoln was busy with in between his appearances on the show. Find out who has had the best post-Walking Dead career, and which fan-favorite actor made a secret cameo in the final season of the series.
But you look harmless enough. Except you.
Let's dive in. Andrew Lincoln. Before The Walking Dead, Andrew was just a sign guy from Love Actually. But the role of Rick Grimes brought him a hell of a popularity.
And a sort of large part of me will always be a machete-wielding, Stetson-wearing, zombie-slaying sheriff's deputy from London, England.
After his departure from the franchise in Season 9, he appeared in only a handful of projects. Andrew co-starred Naomi Watts in the drama Penguin Bloom. You might have also spotted him in an episode of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. And of course, he returned to the Walking Dead universe in The Ones Who Live. Fans were excited to finally see Rick, Michonne, and their children reunited. The only question remains, will there be a Season 2? Initially, it was intended to be a miniseries, but showrunner Scott Gimple shared that anything is possible. Moreover, other Walking Dead spin-offs also offered clear hooks for continuation. We'll talk about the cast of these shows a bit later, but now, let's have a look at those who left the franchise for good. Sarah Wayne Callies. Laurie Grimes was killed off back in Season 3 while delivering her daughter Judith. Surprisingly, it turns out that Sarah wasn't exactly a fan of the series. "I never watched The Walking Dead," she shared. "It scared me. But 10 years ago, that kind of exploration of depravity and desperation and fear was interesting and new. However, now the world has changed a lot. And Callies admits that such dystopian shows somehow provide comfort to their viewers. I think it's actually a kind of subversive to say, maybe we're all going to be okay. Maybe we can get through this by reaching out to one another." After leaving TWD, Sarah went on to play in a number of shows, including Prison Break and Colony. Her latest TV appearance so far was in the drama series The Company You Keep. Next, let's move on to the actor who played Rick's once best friend, Jon Bernthal. Shane's death at the end of Season 2 was long planned, so Bernthal went on to star in other shows right after his exit from The Walking Dead. However, he revealed that he was open to making further appearances.
I love those guys, so if that means coming to do flashbacks, I'm completely open to it.
And he did, in Seasons 3 and 9.
You know, those first couple of years on Walking Dead were some of the most special times. It was definitely, for me, special times in my life.
Sure.
In kind of every way.
Jon is arguably one of the most successful TWD alumni. He's been in a number of high-profile films, including The Wolf of Wall Street and Baby Driver. He also starred as the titular vigilante on the show The Punisher and the lead in the series adaptation of American Gigolo. Most recently, Bernthal appeared on the acclaimed show The Bear. Next, we are moving on to the actress whose exit surprised fans. Laurie Holden. Andrea was one of the most beloved characters in the original comic books, but not too popular on the show. Still, her death in the Season 3 finale came as a shock to the audience. Holden also wasn't happy with her Andrea's untimely exit. The actress later revealed that she had an 8-year deal and planned to stay until the end of the series. "I was supposed to end up with Rick. I was supposed to save Woodbury on a horse, and I was buying a house in Atlanta." After The Walking Dead, Laurie appeared on several shows, including The Americans and Proven Innocent. Most recently, she was on The Boys, where she portrayed Crimson Countess. Apart from acting, Holden remains quite busy with her work in charity and human rights organizations. Now let's go on to the actor who played one of the most romantic characters, Stephen Yeun. He knew about Glenn's fate ever since seeing his death in the original comic book. Moreover, Stephen hoped it would be the same on the show.
If I'm gonna be honest with you, I was really excited for that day. I was excited to get my skull bashed in.
However, leaving the series wasn't as easy as he expected.
I left Walking Dead and I kind of had an existential crisis. Not because I longed to be back there, but because I was made to feel the loneliness of life, which is that decisions aren't made for you.
At the same time, he point-blank refused to return, even for the flashback sequences.
I know I'll probably be remembered in part by that show for probably the rest of my life, but I really love the fact that I can just seal it and say, that's finished.
So, although writers were keen to have Glenn feature in Rick's hallucinations along with Shane, Herschel, and Sasha, that never happened. Since leaving The Walking Dead, Steven has had no problems throwing himself back into other projects. He worked as a voice actor on the adult animated series Invincible. This year, Yeun won an Emmy and a Golden Globe for his role in Beef. Next, he will appear in the sci-fi movie Mickey 17 alongside Robert Pattinson and Mark Ruffalo. Now, let's talk about the young actor who joined The Walking Dead at the age of 10. Chandler Riggs. Although there were lots of deaths more brutal than his, fans were shocked to find out Carl was a goner. Moreover, it was a surprise for the actor himself, as he had no intention of leaving the show.
It was devastating for me and my family. For a few days, we didn't know what to do.
Shared Chandler at the time. But although it was hard for him to leave, the actor is not bitter anymore. Now 24-year-old, Riggs went on to explore other opportunities.
It's just been a lot of time just in LA trying to start to make things happen. Started my own production company, and so doing some directing and producing.
This year, he will appear in 2 films, Breakup Season and Florida Wild. By the way, Chandler made a surprising cameo in The Walking Dead finale. He shared the screen with Lauren Cohen, Norman Reedus, and Melissa McBride as a hilltop farmer. That wasn't planned, and the role was uncredited, but it's a cool one, right? Next, we are moving on to the actors who got their own spin-off shows in the Walking Dead universe. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Negan underwent a massive overhaul and redemption in the series, and probably that's why he's still alive and kicking.
I mean, look, he's not all bad. I know some of y'all out there just think he's the most horrible person in the world. I would disagree with you all day.
While still filming The Walking Dead, Jeffrey also took part in other projects. For instance, he was in the movies The Postcard Killings and The Unholy, and the series Leopard Skin. In 2024, he will appear on the show The Boys and 2 thrillers Neponset Circle and Nowhere Men. And of course, there's the spin-off The Walking Dead Dead City. So let's talk about his co-star on this show. Lauren Cohen. Maggie left Tabu D the same season when Rick was whisked away on a helicopter. Reportedly, Lauren stepped away from the show because of the salary disputes. She chose to quit and play the lead role in the dramedy series Whiskey Cavalier. However, the show turned out to be short-lived, and Cohen returned to The Walking Dead. There's a lot more Maggie story to tell, she commented at the time. And she was right. Maggie got her own successful spin-off, where she teamed up with Negan. That was a really surprising turn of events, as the two spent literally years avoiding each other. In reality, Lauren and Jeffrey are friends. After all, they met and shared the screen long before The Walking Dead.
We were doing a film.
Superman versus Batman, except the other way around. We were playing husband and wife.
Husband and wife. It was very cold in Chicago. All the cameras broke, and we shot, I think, 2 nights. And that's when we first met.
Season 1 of Dead City left off with many unresolved storylines. However, there was no official announcement about Season 2, but rumor has it that the shooting is going to start really soon, as there was a casting call for the extras. And what about the second season of The Ones Who Live? Let's find out what its female lead thinks about it. Danai Gurira. Off-screen, the actress isn't nearly as intimidating as Michonne. She's unbelievably elegant and intelligent. However, she prefers roles that are messy, contradictory, complicated, and not always likable.
You know, it's not often a girl gets to play a bad guy. You know?
But mostly, she brings to life powerful and strong women characters, like Okoye from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Danai is also a renowned playwright, and she co-worked with showrunner Scott Gimple on The Ones Who Live. Hilariously, as an inspiration for doing love scenes, Gurira turned to the Bridgerton series.
I'm the girl, I've seen the most love stories, and I'm like, this thing has to navigate the epic love story theme. It's got to be everywhere.
As for the return of the katana-wielding badass and Rick in the future, there are no clear plans yet. Scott Gimple doesn't deny it might happen, but right now, there's nothing on the table, except his little fan fictions he writes in the evening for himself. He also explained that the new show depends on too many things, from schedules to the stuff itself, especially if he'd have to call in all of the original cast members. Because fan theory states that they all should reunite in the next installment of the Walking Dead saga. For now, it seems like a far-fetched plan, as Daryl and Carol are still in Europe. If you want to know more about this spin-off, let us know in the comments. Obviously, we didn't mention all of the Walking Dead actors in this video, so comment on your favorites, and we'll make another video about them. Thanks for watching, and stay awesome!